Gamera is a series that we all love, and just a small while ago I also made a video on me reviewing Gamera vs Garen, so I would appreciate it if you check that out. But today we are going to be ranking every Gamera villain from the Gamera series from worst to best. So yeah, I hope you have fun watching me rank every Gamera villain from worst to best, because I feel like it's a topic I should have realised it would be fun to focus on ages ago. Because, you know, Gamera's villains are like some of the most important things about the entire story. You need a villain. Well, for a kaiju story anyways. But that's what we're going to be doing today. Also, quick disclaimer. If you watch my video on the Heisei era, reviewing all three of the Heisei era films, then, so if you did watch it, thank you, but if you watch the ending, I said Gamera Guardian of the Universe had the best villain, known as Gaus, but I was basing that off nostalgia. This ranking is going to be based on how threatening the villains were and possibly design. And yeah, so I'm not saying Gaus is like when I did the Gamera Heisei video, I'm not saying between the three, Gaus, Legion and Iris, Gaus is my favourite. I'm just saying he's the classic and probably has the best role because he reminds me of King Ghidorah. That's why I said best villain. But it didn't say favourite villain, it said best villain. So yeah, so I'm only going to mention that because I feel like I would get a comment being told that. Because, if you said that and I didn't mention that before I started the video, then yeah, good point. But I've told you now, so yeah, you know, just in case you get confused by any of my placements. But yes, as I was saying, Gamera's a series we all love. Also, Gamera from Gamera the Giant Monster does not count as a villain. He still liked kids, so we're not going to count Gamera himself in this rating, because you know he's not a villain, he's a hero. So yeah. So, buckle up, get comfy, get the popcorn to see my ranking. And not to mention, please like and subscribe to my channel. My next goal is 300 subscribers. We passed 200, and we're now 233 subs. So I would appreciate it if you helped me to 300 subscribers. Anyways, without further ado, I think it is about time we begin the ranking video. Yeah, I'm excited to do this, guys. Number 9. Virus. I don't really have much to say about Virus, to be honest, guys. I will admit, I don't hate any of them. I would even say I love Virus, it's just his movie sucks. But anyways, Virus is very goofy. I don't have much to say about him. I'll give credit to Virus for having an amazing final fight. He was pretty bad developed. And I just love how goofy Virus is. But he's still got to be placed in last. All the other Gamera villains are still a lot better than him. But yeah, Virus is a decent design. I would give it a solid 6 out of 10. Maybe not solid, a neutral 6 out of 10. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'd give Virus in the Gamera trilogy. I feel like that's a good placement for him. But yeah, I don't have much to say. 8. Jiger. A bit like Virus, actually. I don't have too much to say about Jiger. If I had one huge complaint about Jiger, I'm going to be very honest with you. I find it very weird how he flies. I'm used to kaiju flying with wings. It's a bit like how Godzilla flew with his atomic beam, except that was a lot funnier. However, I will give a lot of credit to Jiger because he had some epic scenes, and I felt bad for him, the way he died. Lava coming out from his trunk. Well, not trunk, he doesn't have a trunk, but whatever. But I love the beginning fight where he flips Gamera upside down and just leaves him like that. He doesn't even bother to kill him, he just leaves him to be tortured upside down. And poor Gamera, I see Gamera in the distance moving his hands and legs about everywhere, and I'm like, come on, did Gamera need to be done dirty like that? I mean, I suppose they were fighting, but yeah. Jiger's a really cool villain. It's just there are some stuff that I find kind of confusing about him, which a lot of people might disagree with. I will admit, Jiger had a lot of cool scenes. The way he swam towards the boats was a really cool scene. But anyways, we're going to rate his design. His design, a 7 out of 10. The character, also a 7 out of 10. And yeah, 7. Controversial, but Zedus is number 7. Right, I just had to because there were so many unique Showa villains, I knew I'd have to rate Zedus low. Like, I like the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. They are placed really cool. It's just, Zedus is a mix of a T-Rex and a Dilophosaurus. And he does place really funny. Like, his feet are so long, it makes his balancement really odd. But that doesn't matter. His design is a straight 10 out of 10. Like, as you can see on that picture, he's got a lot of colours around him, which I find really creative and interesting looking. And a lot will probably be shocked that I've got Zedus so low, but I'm not saying I hate him. He was really cool, and he really did destroy Gamera in that fight. He was like, he's probably a pretty strong opponent to put against Gamera. But yeah. And he's also a lot bigger than Gamera. He's probably one of the bigger monsters they've had in this entire series, even though he's literally only a dinosaur. Like, look at this dinosaur compared to a huge turtle. Like, his entire tail is almost as big as Toto himself. However, don't forget Toto's only a baby. He's a lot smaller than Heisei Gamera, which means that Heisei Gamera is probably a bit bigger than Zedus, or around the same size at least. But since Toto's only a baby turtle, he looks tiny compared to Zedus. But yeah, I recommend you also watch my review on Gamera the Brave. It's so underrated. But yeah, Zedus was a pretty threatening villain. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10, to be honest. He was cool. 6. Ziggurat. I'm going to admit, other than Gamera Super Monster, Gamera vs. Ziggurat was by far the worst film they had to release. Ziggurat, though, gets a lot of plus points. He managed to make the film better because, first of all, I love his design. He's a cool villain, he's threatening. The final fight's really well done. That's probably what made up for this film, because I can get over the goofy final fights they make sometimes. But yeah, Ziggurat's design's got to be a 9 out of 10. That is one cool design. And the overall villainous kaiju is going to get something like an 8 out of 10 actually, yeah. So he does well as a villain and makes up for the film a lot. It's just I would not call him the best Gamera villain. He did really impressive. He's actually my 4th favourite Showa Gamera villain. After the other 3, you'll know who they are because you know. But yeah, I'm honestly really shocked that I've got such a bad film with a good villain. Like, it felt kind of awkward to rate Ziggurat so high since his villain, no, not his villain, his movie was really bad. But his villain arc's pretty interesting. I think they managed to make a fish villain work. And there are a few really odd scenes, but other than that, this was great. For a villain, like, I enjoyed lots of the scenes where Ziggurat was on screen. And I think a lot of us can say this is probably one of the worst Gamera films they have released. But yeah, while we're here, please subscribe, hit the notifications, and like. The top 5. 5. Garen. I feel really bad for putting Garen at 5th place. Like, my most recent Gamera review was actually on this movie. And, to be honest, I feel really bad I've rated Garen at 5th. Because, compared to the Showa villains, he's my 3rd favourite. He's so unique and enjoyable. And his design's even pretty cool. He kind of reminds me of a rhino. Even though he kind of is. He's like a mix of a dog and a rhino. But yeah, this was a really funny, amazing, and cute villain, and I kind of felt bad for the way he died. Like, Gamera threw a missile into his nose. Like, because there's a little hole in his horn. I think that's supposed to be the nose. As you can see, there's a little circle. Like, they managed to trap Garen by putting his horn in the sand, which makes him unable to move. He was upside down. And Gamera kept throwing stuff at him till he died. But anyways, that's not what it's about. His design's epic. It's a shame. They focused on the aliens a lot in this film. I would have loved to see a lot more Garen in this movie. Comment down below, because I feel like there might even be a few people out there saying that Garen is probably the best Gamera villain that they have made. Like, possibly even out of the entire thing. He probably had one of the goofiest moments. In fact, probably the goofiest moments of Gamera. He was like, for me, he was the goofiest Showa Gamera film they had. Except for maybe Virus. It's between him and Virus, really. But yeah, Garen is incredible. And honestly, for a film that could have been kind of cringe, Garen made up for it. So yeah, and the final fight was incredible. And yeah, it was just a really enjoyable film, guys. And so yeah, I kind of talk about the final fight a lot, especially that one scene where Gamera does gymnastics. 4. Gaus. Now, a lot are probably going to be angry that I've rated Gaus lower, than Baragon. I've got Baragon higher than Gaus on my list, which a lot of people might find pretty criminal, because Baragon only appeared in one film, while Gaus appeared in 1, 2, 3, 4 Gamera films, which is a lot. He's the most developed villain out of the entire thing. However, I will admit, out of all the Showa Gamera fights, Gaus had received the best one. The Gamera vs. Gaus finale fight in Gamera vs. Gaus was the most intense we had by far. And the way Gaus died was brutal, and his weakness of light was really, really clever. Because, of course, he would only appear at night. If he was still fighting Gamera by day, they could make a really good death out of that. And yes, I don't know why Gamera just sent Gaus to the volcano on the first fight they had. Well, I suppose he was injured and had to look after a kid as well. Oh yeah, that's probably why, because there was a kid there. And Gamera was holding the kid. If Gamera went too close to the volcano, the kid would suffocate in the smoke. So yes. 3. Yes, it's Baragon. Baragon is my favourite from the Showa era, simply because he's cool designed. He shoots rainbows and smoke from his tongue, which is really creative. And I just really enjoy this villain. A bit like Garen, he looks a bit like a rhino and a dog together. Garen is probably the closest villain you can get to Baragon. But yeah, like I said, people will be very angry that I've rated Baragon higher than Gaus. But I just personally think he's better. He also reminds me of Baragon. So yeah. And I controversially think that this was a really cool fight because, the fight is slow. But yeah, I honestly find Baragon's design really adorable. He's just a little doggy with a rhino's horn. And yeah, I feel like he got a lot of development in this film. He appeared way more than Gamera. And honestly, he made all of those scenes fun. I enjoyed Baragon. His design, probably one of the blander designs out there. But either way, the kaiju, overall is a 10 out of 10. Or a 9 out of 10. Maybe a 9.5. And the design is an 8 out of 10, I suppose. I wouldn't say the blandest design, it's just Zigra, Virus, Garen did a bit better. Okay, never mind. Maybe I prefer Baragon's design more than Virus, because Virus is simply just a squid. But yeah, Baragon is always going to remain one of my favourite villains and the best of the Showa villains. His weakness is water. So I felt bad for him after I heard that, because that means he can't swim anywhere else. As soon as he's in one place, he stays there, because he can't go to another country if he can't swim, unless he got onto a boat or something. But that wouldn't be possible. Baragon's way too big for a boat. But yeah, I'm going to stop talking about what he did in the movie, because, I got a movie review for Gamera vs. Baragon. The only movie reviews I've made yet are Gamera the Brave, Gamera vs. Baragon, Gamera vs. Garen, and the Heisei. Number 2. Iris. So, a lot will think this should have been first place. Yes, I get why. When I first saw Iris, I was like, oh, that's a pretty cute creature, because he started off small. And then there was a scene where Iris grew into a huge giant. He was so big. And his final fight with Gamera was very intense and epic. Slightly slow, but still incredible. And one of the best fights to date we are going to get from the Gamera series. Because I feel like Gamera's almost done with their movies. They're going to make a few Monsters vs. Gamera films, probably a few series, and then they're probably done. Because Gamera's taking huge breaks, which kind of disappoints me. I always smile when Iris is on the screen. And not to mention, look at his design. That design is absolutely fire. And he is my second favourite design in the whole Gamera trilogy, after the one I have at number 1. But anyways, Iris, like I said, if you watch my Heisei review, I had Gaus as the best villain over Legion and Iris. And yes, he is probably the best villain because of nostalgia and overall being King Ghidorah, really. Well, technically he's a bit like King Ghidorah. But if it's based on my favourite, because I put best. But if it's based on my favourite, it's Iris. Anyways, number 1. Number 1 just has to be Legion, man. The spikes in the corner are so epic. And I've even got a huge colour party in the distance, since I find his design epic. His design, I would rate it over a 10 if I have to. The design is incredible and amazing. And the character, the villain was very threatening. Probably, Legion was actually a pure evil villain. Unlike Iris. Iris wasn't even evil, I don't think, because Iris had a fond relationship with a girl. I feel like Iris, I wouldn't call Iris pure evil, but Legion, man, he was probably the most threatening villain Gamera had to fight in the entire Gamera series. Legion's design's cool, he's threatening, he comes from a really good film. So yeah, I honestly got to say that this is the most impressive kaiju in my opinion. I just can't stop looking at that beautiful design. If I have one complaint, I can't think of one. But yeah, and it's also really hard. This is a bit like how I talk about Biollante from Godzilla. It's very hard to make kaiju fights with kaijus that don't have feet. Legion has feet, they're just really small. He's a bit like an octopus. And it's really impressive that they still make the fight absolutely amazing, yet Legion doesn't even have feet. I personally consider that really impressive. And same with Biollante. Every time I think of how I would make a fight with Biollante, I always have to think of it being an underwater fight, since I don't know how to make a Biollante fight with Godzilla work. Because that's how hard it is to make fights so accurate and amazing to watch without a kaiju that doesn't have feet. But yeah, just seeing, especially in the final fight, every shot of Legion was epic, especially this one right here. Just seeing Legion in the distance, in the dark sky, it's so cool. And when I first saw Legion, because, fun fact, Attack of Legion's my first Gamera film I watched. So yeah. It also meant I would have been speechless when it came to seeing Legion. But yeah, I've got to say, that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching my Gamera villains ranked. I'm pretty sure I got them all in. I'm thinking of every single movie I think I have. But yes, that is my Gamera ranking. What should I rank from Gamera or Godzilla next? Please subscribe, because I think I've had enough of calling this movie Subscribe To. But yeah, thanks for watching today's video. Please subscribe and like and hit the notifications. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!